Tonight we see a major civil rights leader's home.
And we'll take a look at the Chinese New Year. Stay tuned. TrojanVision News starts now.
From the High Definition Production Center of Troy University's Broadcast and Digital Network and Troy campuses around the world, this is Troy TrojanVision News.
Hello and welcome to Troy TrojanVision News for February 19th, 2015. I'm Sarah Singletary.
And I'm Xavier Harris. Thank you for joining us this evening. As many people celebrate African American history this month, many Troy students and residents in the surrounding areas do not have to travel far to get a walkthrough of the home of a major civil rights leader. February is a celebration of Black History Month. In Montgomery, Alabama, people from all over the country have the chance to take a full tour of Dr. Martin Luther King Jr.'s home from front to back. One significant piece of history that everyone gets to see face to face is the bombing that took place while King was living in his home. Many people are shocked when they find out that there is still an indentation in the front porch where the bomb detonated. Here right beside me is the home of Dr. Martin Luther King from 1954 until 1960. King was at Ralph Missionary Baptist Church when he got the phone call that his house had been bombed with his wife and children inside.
Reverend King was downtown at a meeting, and his wife was at home with their young baby, Yolanda, and the wife of a deacon of the church, Mary Lucy Williams was her name. Reverend King did not want her to be home alone because he had begun to receive threats on his life as well as his family's life. They were in the front room of the home where they heard a noise on the porch. They immediately went to the back bedroom and the bomb went off.
While in the home, visitors get to see King's bedrooms, bathrooms, and more. Muhammad tells us that most tourists have a favorite part of the house.
The kitchen. The kitchen, because that is where Reverend King experienced his epiphany, where he heard God speak to him and tell him, be not afraid, and to go forward with his work in the civil rights movement.
The many tours that are given daily, Muhammad tells us, whether far or near, mostly all who visit King's home leave feeling more uplifted than when they entered the home.
They are very humbled. They seem to connect with the home. I think the home has a peace about it, and they seem to connect with that and identify with that. They are very surprised to see that we have so many authentic items in the home that were used by Reverend and Mrs. King.
For anyone who would like to visit King's home, you can set up a visit by contacting Muhammad at 334-261-3270 or email dextertour@wow.com.
Tomorrow night, Troy University's Chinese students will get the chance to share one of their biggest holidays in their homeland with their new American neighbors. Their annual Chinese New Year's Festival tomorrow night in the Trojan Center ballrooms. The event will feature traditional Chinese songs and dance performed by Troy students, as well as a buffet of authentic Chinese cuisine. The CSSA say they hope that everyone will get a chance to enjoy a piece of their culture.
This Friday, we prepared a great banquet and lots of performances, which we just invite all of you guys can come here and join us. And I hope not only the Chinese people, but also all of the Americans can have fun together.
The Chinese New Year's celebration will be tomorrow night at 6 o'clock in the Trojan Center ballrooms. Tickets can be purchased at the CSSA table in the Trojan Center or in the International office in Pace Hall.
From football to soccer to softball, there are a number of intramural sports available for Troy students to play on campus.
That's right, Xavier, but there is one new sport trying to make its way to campus that is usually only associated with Wizards. Casey Freeman explains.
When people think of Quidditch, they often refer back to the Harry Potter movie, but one new organization is bringing that fantasy world to Troy University.
Quidditch is this sport that's been adapted from the Harry Potter series. It's played on PVC pipe brooms. It's a co-ed, full contact sport.
It's a sport, and it's kind of like a mix between like rugby and soccer and volleyball.
While Quidditch is new to Troy University, it is certainly not new to other places in the world. Some of the goals of the organization are to continue to promote for members, but also to compete with surrounding schools with Quidditch teams.
We would probably play mostly with people in our area, FSU, University of Mississippi, Alabama, Auburn, USA, any region, any team that's within our area. And then once we win at a certain number of tournaments, then we would be able to move on to the World Cup.
There are a few events in the works from the new organization that are open to the student body to enjoy.
We hope to try and have possibly Quidditch on the quad, where anyone can see us playing out on the front lawn of Bibb Graves.
I'm most excited about seeing where it goes. We're really little right now, and so I'm looking forward to seeing what we get to do the end of this rest of the semester and next semester. I'm really hoping we get to do a Yule Ball. I just want to dress up.
Crookham says you don't have to be a fan of the famous boy wizard to get involved with the Quidditch team.
I'd like to say that Quidditch is not just for Harry Potter fans. Sure, that could probably be the door that opens up people to Quidditch. But it's really just a fun sport for everyone. You don't have to be a fan of the series, you don't have to be a fan of the books, read them, or even watch the movies. If you just want to come out, have fun, and play a really awesome sport, then we are more than welcome to have you.
Casey Freeman, Troy, TrojanVision News.
The Quidditch team plans to meet again on Wednesday, March 4th. You can also find out more about the organization by looking for the Troy University Quidditch team on Facebook.
And now taking a look at news from around the state. In Huntsville, forecasters have issued a winter storm watch for northern Alabama as Arctic air sends temperatures plunging into the single digits and teens. The National Weather Service says temperatures have dropped to 9 degrees in Haleyville before dawn on Thursday. It was 12 degrees in Huntsville and Muscle Shoals and 17 degrees in Birmingham. The wind chill made it feel around 0 in some areas. At least 20 school systems shut down or delayed classes because of the cold and the chance for slick roads, some for the third day straight.
A Tuscaloosa middle school teacher is charged with sending a nude photo to a 12-year-old girl. Police say 35-year-old Jason Bird was arrested Wednesday on a charge of sending obscene material to a student. Court documents filed by police alleged the man became friends with the student through the messaging app Snapchat and began asking her for nude photos. The document says the student closed her account after the man sent a nude photo.
In Daphne, state officials are asking for the public's help to find a driver who fled a hit-and-run crash that left 2 men injured in East Alabama. Alabama Law Enforcement Agency Trooper Chuck Daniels said in an email statement that a black 4-door sedan hit 2 men while they were changing a tire alongside Alabama 148 east of Sylacauga around 9 p.m. on February 12th. Daniels says both men were taken to University of Alabama Birmingham Hospital and one suffered serious injuries.
Still to come on TrojanVision News, the men's basketball team will travel to Statesboro, Georgia to take on Georgia Southern. Clay Yeager will give us more when he joins us in sports.
Plus, we find out more about President Obama's appeal to the international community, so stay with us.
President Obama urges a global effort to counter violent extremism as nations gather here at the State Department for the final day of a summit. I'm Craig Boswell. That story coming up.
For over 70 years, Smokey Bear has asked you to use fire responsibly.
Fire is due to an unattended campfire. Go time.
Here's how you can stay on the front lines of preventing wildfires. Always watch your campfire before leaving. Drown it, stir it, drown it again, and feel that the fire is out cold.
Oh, bullseye!
And you won't need a visit from these guys.
Copy that.
You can be Smokey's wingman when enjoying nature and prevent wildfires. Visit SmokeyBear.com for more fire prevention tips.
This is Dr. Daniel Smith. He's an expert in domestic and international economics. But his proudest achievement is connecting with his students and helping them accomplish more than they ever thought possible. That's the warrior spirit, and it's alive and well at Troy University. Feel it at troy.edu/spirit.
Now, the latest in Trojan sports on Troy TrojanVision News.
The men's basketball team will have a chance to fight their way into the conference tournament as they play conference foe Georgia Southern tonight. Troy has already played Georgia Southern this season and won that matchup by just 4 points to 75-71. The Eagles are in the number 2 spot with a conference record of 11-3. Troy sits with a conference record of 4-11 while they are in last place in the standings. Since the matchup with the Trojans, the Eagles have won 7 games and lost 1. Georgia Southern is also on a 2-game win streak after the overtime win against ULR. Despite the Eagles' standings, head coach Phil Cunningham says his team is excited about the matchup.
They're one of the co-leaders in the league race right now. They've got a very veteran team. We got one of the best guards in the league in Jelani Hewitt, who had a terrific game at our place. They'll be waiting for us. We beat them at home, and one of their only 3 losses in league play, so they'll be excited. But it's going to be a good atmosphere over there. We've told our team, get excited. You're going to enjoy playing there. They've got a great student section. They put their students right on top of your bench. So I think we'll look forward to going over there and playing.
Tip-off is set for tonight with the Trojans at 6:30 p.m. in Statesboro, Georgia. And the women's basketball team will look to finish strong and build off their 3-game winning streak as they play Georgia Southern as well. The Trojans beat Georgia Southern previously this season as they outscored the Eagles by 10 more points, 84-74. Georgia Southern is in second to last place at number 10 in the rankings with a conference record of 1-13. Troy is ranked number 4 in the rankings with their conference record at 10-5. Assistant coach Courtney Simmons says that Georgia Southern is still a good team and they have to stick to their game plan.
We beat Georgia Southern here at home. We only beat them by 10 points. It was 74-84, and I'm real good on stats. That's my scouting report, so, you know, I'm real technical right now. But they were up on us with 14 minutes to go in the second half. They were up by 9, and our girls, like I said, Renita Garrett and Ashley Beverly Kelly were able to make some plays, some big plays for us. Renita Garrett has been a monster on the board, so getting some key rebounds. And again, our bench stepped up and played well. Lacey Buchanan came in and hit 14 points for us. So, you know, it was a good team win. Just trying to take those same efforts and win on the road.
The game has already started for the Trojans, and the last report for the score was 53-49 with Troy leading with 15 minutes left in the game. The men's tennis team will host the Trojan Jamboree starting tomorrow when the Trojans will take on 5 different teams over the weekend. Troy will face off against Alabama A&M, Nicholls State, Georgia Southern, South Carolina State, and number 20 Tennessee. Troy will have a doubleheader tomorrow as they play Alabama A&M and Nicholls State. Troy played against the Bulldogs last season as they ran away with the win 5-0. However, the last time Troy played against Nicholls State, the Trojans lost in a close matchup 4-3. The Jamboree for the Trojans will be at 10 a.m. The softball team will stay in Troy this weekend as they host the Troy Invitational. Troy will have a doubleheader as they take on UConn first and then Northern Illinois. Troy will then have another doubleheader on Saturday as they play the Huskies and UConn again. The Trojans' last game will be against Evansville to wrap up the weekend Invitational. Troy as of now is ranked 8th in the conference with an overall record of 3-6 going into the tournament. The Trojan Invitational is set for this weekend at the Trojan Softball Complex. The track and field team is getting ready to perform in the Sun Belt Indoor Championship next week as they travel to Birmingham once again. However, instead of performing on the weekend, the Trojans will be competing next week, Monday through Tuesday. Head coach Mark Davis says although it switches things around in their training schedule, they'll have to perform without excuses.
Just move the days around so that you're doing the normal things 48 hours before you're going to a competition, for example. I mean, we're just trying to make sure the week is going to be reflective of what we've done all year, so it's not too big of a shock for them once we get there. It's going to be odd anyway, running on a Monday and Tuesday, but it's not going to be a distraction and it's not going to be an excuse for not doing well.
The Sun Belt Indoor Championship will start next week on Monday.